Hey guys, welcome back to the Musings of Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick, and today we are going to be watching Kimetsu no Yaiba episode 5. So, last episode we finally got to see this super cool water-breathing style of, swordsmanship that we've been seeing from the opening so far, right? With all the water and stuff flying out of these swords. Now, that is just a sort of like visual effect. In actuality, they're not exactly using any abilities or magic, but it looks cool, right? And this was a huge part of what drew me into this series in the first place, by seeing that super cool animation style, and it definitely didn't disappoint. That is awesome. Now, in terms of the actual story, so right now Tanjiro is still in his trial, right? In the final selection process, where he met this, very advanced demon, question mark. We're not sure if the demon is actually very advanced or not, but it's a demon that ate 50 people, right? So let's just say a level 50 demon, which Tanjiro eventually was able to take down. Now, the entire final selection process, one of my viewers actually mentioned how he thinks this entire thing is kind of inefficient. And to be honest, I'm kind of inclined to agree, right? It does seem kind of ineffective and inefficient by sending them to what is essentially their deaths in a way, because from all accounts that we've seen so far, at least a good portion of them don't manage to pass it and return. And by not passing it, it's probably because they're dead, right? And so is this actually the real best way to gather up these new bloods of demon slayers? That's a good question, right? It seems to be far more efficient if they actually use the system sort of like an apprenticeship, where you would have a more senior demon slayer taking on a more junior one, and then showing them the ropes and teaching them how to actually survive in the actual demon slaying world. That seems to be a much better utilization of resources. But I will still reserve judgment first. Maybe there's a good reason that they're doing things this way. We shall see, right? We shall see. Also, last episode, we were given some sneak peeks of the other people who we saw in the opening, so probably some other major characters as well. Probably they'll be introduced within these next few episodes. And most importantly, we're only through day 1 of the entire process, right? We got 7 days to go, so how exactly are they supposed to continue the story on from here when there's already been a sort of like a climax, right? So I'm interested to see how they're going to finish that part. So, in any case, let's just jump into the episode. And let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh yeah, and also we learned the backstory of the 2 children that were helping Tanjiro. Water breathing. First form. Whoosha. Nice. And the opening. Alright, let's get this real quick. I'll see you guys in a second. My own steel. So, probably he's gonna get his own sword? Oh. What's this? Wait, who is that? Oh, what? Huh. Okay. Isn't this a demon though? Yeah. Behind you! Alright. Hmm? That's what happened before? But wait, I don't get it. If he was already dead... Oh wait, he was just captured. Yeah, you should be dead, dude. Well, duh. You're a demon. Oh wait, are we actually gonna see the backstory of this demon? Hmm. Okay. So I guess it's sort of like foreshadowing what would happen to his sister? Oh, so he's joining his brother now. Aww. So tragic. But still, let's remember. He killed 50 dudes, right? And probably a lot of them were children as well. See? All these people. Are they actually just going to pass on like this? I mean, for a lot of times, you know, these kinds of spirits stay around because they have some regrets. I thought they would have stuck around. Hmm. Alright, sorry, just gonna fast forward through the remaining 6 days. Hmm. I think most of these are too low level to actually know. Hmm. Don't tell me this is still the first night. No. Since he... I believe they said that this doesn't appear without... unless you're at the entrance, right? Yeah, so he's back. So he passed? That's it? No. So all the rest are killed? Hey, it's one of the... I believe he's probably gonna be a companion of Tanjiro, judging from the opening and ending. And you two are still as creepy as ever. Rank. Okay. Mizunoto. What? Yeah. So these like their messengers? Alright. Now what is your problem, dude? Alright. So there's lots of different kinds as well. I guess it'll call out to you or something. Okay. 5? 5? 5? Okay. So obviously there's someone else who doesn't want to show himself. And there we go. We're finished with the selection process. So apparently this guy is a demon slayer now. Come on, dude. Use your brain. If it was that easy to ask. Eh. Hmm. I wonder how far it actually is from that place. And has something happened during that time? At home? Maybe? Hmm? Okay. Hmm? I think he's crying, actually. Well, alright, never mind. Wait, so he knows? Blood demon art. Supernatural abilities. Blood demon art. Yeah, sort of like hibern. I don't think she's recovering. She's just conserving energy. You can't just recover energy from sleeping. Holy time skip. How many time skips has this anime gone through already? Oh, maybe one of his senpais? Oh. So he just. What? Okay. So yay, he got his own weapon. Really? Hmm. Black? Does that mean anything? What is with this? Alright. First mission or something? You can talk? Seriously? Once they pass, they just go take on missions by themselves with no one to guide them? That's so cute. Alright, so let me skip this real quick and let's see that special thing after the ending. Yeah, let's start. You have such an annoying voice, Crow. Swordsman. Okay. Okay, so there we have episode 5 of Kimetsu no Yaiba. So it definitely just breezed through a lot of things, right? Seriously, this anime has probably the most time skips I've seen within 5 episodes ever, right? So even here, from the very beginning of the episode, we basically time skip through a week or so to the final selection. And so, indeed, that last episode with the defeat of that demon, level 50 demon, that was the climax of the entire selection. And so he's through. Tanjiro is now a fully fledged demon slayer, right? And then we also get to see the rest of the guys who, well, eventually show up anyways. So we got the girl, the butterfly girl. We got the edgy emo dude who's like, give me my sword. We got I think he's kind of cowardly, I guess. Though I think he'll eventually be one of the companions of Tanjiro. And then apparently there's also someone else as well, judging from the dialogue context of the guy who I assume to be the overall leader of all the demon slayers. So one more guy. I'm assuming it's probably that boar, that boar face looking dude who also becomes Tanjiro's companion, although that remains to be seen, right? So we got that part, and then we're also sort of introduced to the current leveling system of this organization. So they mentioned 10 levels, and so I guess let me explain a little bit about that system, because it's actually based on a sort of, I guess you could say, counting system that originated from China. So what it is essentially it's using the Tengan Dizhi system, or as it's called in the West, the Ganji, or sexagenary cycle, something like that. Anyways, it's a fairly complicated system that's used for that originated from a calendar system and is also eventually used for various things such as fortune telling, such as timekeeping, such as your such as directions as well. So it's used for a lot of different things. It's not really used anymore, but there's a whole, it has a whole system that's very, very complicated, and it's also part of, I guess, more how should I say it, more folklore-y kind of stuff. I'm not sure. It's a semi-religious practice, although not really, if you can get what I mean. So it's just, in some ways, you can also view it as sort of a witchcraft on its own, because it's there's a lot of interesting and traditional elements to it. But anyways, what it is that it's using the so-called 10 heavenly stems of it. So within Tengan Dizhi, there's the Tengan, which literally means the heavenly stems, and the Dizhi, which means the earthly branches, right? So there's 10 and 12 corresponding with each. And so in this case, they're using the 10 heavenly stems as a sort of ranking system. Now, actually, it's also used in modern day as well for grading. It's sort of like your GPA, if you will. Instead of using GPA 4.0, 3.5, that kind of thing, we use the Tengan, although only the first four, Jiayi Bing Ding, sort of a score reference. And here they use all 10. So, yeah, whatever. But anyways, the reason that I want to specifically mention this is because, well, first of all, I thought you guys would like to know what it's based on, what it's actually referencing, and the second of all is if this anime actually tries to use some of this sort of Tengendizu system within or actually, it's a part of a larger, I guess you could say, branch of, how should I say it, like, what I was saying about the sort of semi-religious, school of thought about this entire system, because it also has to do with something called the yin yang wuxing, or the yin and yang, which a lot of people would probably know about, and the five elements of, again, this entire, it's complicated, all right, but they're all intertwined in some way or the other. And the reason I'm talking about this is because if we go to the yin yang wuxing system, then we also have the 5 elements as well, right? And potentially this anime could be getting a lot of its systems or workings based on this. So the 5 elements are respectively, you have metal, you have wood, you have water, you have fire, and you have earth, right? And then they all have this sort of if you guys played Pokemon before, there's super effective and not very effective, right? That kind of thing. So they all correlate to each other as well. As you can probably guess, water is effective against fire and whatnot. Although it can also be used to sort of regenerate. Water regenerates, I believe, wood. Yeah, I believe it's wood. Something, or is it wood or earth? I kind of forgot, but anyways, if you guys are really interested in it, you can go online, and there's this entire circle as well as a star within, so you can see how they correspond to each of the different elements, right? And it's possible that this anime is going to use this kind of system, because we already see Tanjiro using something like water, right? And then also, funnily enough, the color for that represents water is actually black, which ties in with the sword color that he's using, although I'm not quite sure if there's any correlation between that as well. And then, we can see that another person probably uses something like metal, or anyways, it's just throwing it out there. They might use it, they might not. If they do, I'll explain a little bit more along the way, because like I said, it's actually a fairly complicated system and there's lots within there. So yeah, that is that. What else to talk about? In regards to the entire system of selection, and now that they've passed selection and they are going to Tanjiro is going to depart on his first assignment and whatnot, it actually has got me thinking about this entire thing, because so apparently, at least from what we can see right now, there's no special meaning for them to go through this kind of training, right? We all saw that more than 20 people entered at first, all 20 children, and, well, can they be called children? Young adults, if you will. And then in the end, only 5 survived, right? So that's like, what, over 70% mortality rate? Why is that necessary? Right, the commenter from the viewer from last episode got me thinking. So why do they have to go through this kind of system instead of just using different methods to help them train, help them learn along, and so you can reduce the mortality rates of these young trainees, right? And even going forward into their assignments, why do they have to take these assignments alone? In fact, if we take the scope bigger, why do demon slayers work alone? Why don't they work in groups, or at least in 2s or 3s, right? Wouldn't having backup be a much better plan? Like, if you die, you die, right? But if there's 2 of you, then you can back each other up. So what is the entire reason for, them all being sort of lone wolves, right? It could be just a sort of plot hole, but somehow I think this is a little bit too obvious of a plot hole. And there might be some significance to this. Like, things might not just be what they seem on the surface. There might be some more underground happenings at hand. But in any case, it definitely, the more that I think about this, the more that the current system of demon slayers don't really make sense. You want to try to, if we call it rolling a snowball, right? So have more and more and more demon slayers until you can completely overwhelm the demon population, right? It doesn't really make sense for you to keep on killing off your potential good demon slayers before they even become it. And more importantly, once they do become demon slayers, there are important assets for you to protect. The loss of every single demon slayer is a huge loss, right? Because demons, they can replicate very quickly, but demon slayers, they cannot, right? We've learned about that since episode 2. So that's something to keep an eye on. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else I want to say much. I guess we'll learn more about the sword and the sword colors and the ores next episode, or at least sometime in the future anyways. In regards to the other characters, I'm sure we'll cross paths later, right? Right now it's too early to tell which of them will actually become antagonists or companions to Tanjiro. So yeah, I think that about covers this episode. And so hopefully next episode we'll be seeing how Tanjiro handles his first assignment. So until then, I'll see you guys. Let me know if you have any other specific questions in regards to the system, and if not, I'll see you guys next week. So until then, bye bye.